Hey everyone, L to the W here today with another how-to on the HHR. So, went to take the car to work the other morning and no blow motor whatsoever. Now I've been having problems with it for a while. It's been kind of giving me a little chirping, squealing noise at the low speeds, and it's been chirping a little bit on the higher gears. It's been getting progressively worse. But as it warmed up, it was actually going away. But now it's just decided to go now. Those of us fortunate enough to buy the first ones out, the 2006s, underneath this plastic cowl is a rubber butyl seal that would come off and would allow water down into the air box. I think they fixed it for '07, but definitely the later ones don't even have that rubber seal, so you guys are lucky. But you might have to replace the blower motor. I mean, things go bad, so anyways, my issue is I got water down in there. If you watch one of my earlier videos, I've already had to replace the resistor. It was severely water damaged, and now that leak's taking its toll on my blower motor. So let's get underneath this dash and we'll figure it out together how to get this thing out. Okay, so first thing we got two plastic screws. Hopefully you can see it. One here, one not screws. They're just like little plastic kind of pop rivets, I call them. Oh, I know they're not pop rivets. They're little plastic rivet pushing things. So then we'll get this out the way. Which, let me show you. You can see there's the bottom of the blower motor. You can see the rust. Okay, so here's our blower motor. Oops. Now the trick is right here in between these two gaps, we're gonna have to come up with some way of cutting that material out, because GM didn't give too much thought about you having to replace this, except for they did. See these little tabs here? There's a metal bracket on the replacement that will screw into here, but right now what we have to do is cut the blower motor out, and that's going to be loads of fun. So let's figure out a way to do this with doing the minimal damage. I've seen some videos, somebody heating up like a screwdriver and that and melting this, but you got to understand, this is where your air is blowing. If you make this gap too big, you're going to have a lot of airflow loss coming out when you get the new one in. So what we really want to do is do this with a minimal amount of damage. Okay, so I found here is I just use my Gerber multi-tool here, and this plastic here is extremely soft, so we can just work our way around this lip here fairly easy. This isn't going to really take that much at all. Maybe a little bit more effort than I'd like to get this thing out, but it's not bad at all. It's cutting through it fairly easy. As you can see, I'm making pretty good time with this. So that's what I would recommend. Just be careful with your wires hanging out here. Don't cut them, then you're going to create more headaches for yourself. But yeah, this is going to be the hardest part. It's at the back half where you can't see too well, but it's pretty much going to guide itself. Yeah, it's going to take a couple minutes, so we'll fast forward, and next time you look at me, I'll be pulling this thing out. Alright, so we got it all cut, and ta-da, there it is. And good God, boy, you can smell it. It's burnt. It's all kind of burned up. This thing doesn't even want to spin, so do is put the new one in. Alright, so this plug here is a little bit of a pain to get out, but now that it's out of the way, you can see that it clips in. So basically what you're going to have to do is use a screwdriver or something to push in on this and get it down in there to get it undone. Which, if you can do it beforehand, it'll save you some problems. Oh, nice and bleeding. Anyway, that'll save you some problems. You won't have to worry about getting a knife near there. I was just struggling trying to get it out when it was up here, but now that I know how it comes out, I mean, I was trying, but you can see from right here what's exposed. You can't get that to push. You really need some more leverage. But anyways, like I said, so here's the box. And as you can see, minimal amount of damage done, so we'll be able to actually get a really good seal when we put the other one on. And you can look right here, the plastic, not very thick at all. I mean, I really got that out fairly easily with just a pocket knife. So don't go in there and hot torch a screwdriver and then come in here and try to melt it or do something else. I mean, that comes out really easy with just a simple pocket knife. Just be careful, don't cut yourself and do stuff like that. But fairly easy. So let's get on to getting a new one in so I can get me some nice cold AC back in the car. Alright, so real quick, I just found this out. Let me give you a little backstory as to what's going on. Me and the wife went out to eat. We take this car, and I only have a blower motor on high, which if you watch my other videos, you know that not that long ago I just replaced the resistor. And I'm thinking to myself, there's no way that the resistor, or I'm just getting kind of frustrated thinking the resistor went out again. So the next morning I get in the car and no blower motor whatsoever. So now I'm convinced the blower motor's gone. I've been hearing it squeal for a while. I know water's gotten into it because especially on the 06s we had that problem with the water leak, so I'm fine with that. So after I cut this camera off, I decided to take a meter and I just wanted to read the voltage and make sure I had voltage on here. Nothing. So then I probe all the wires here on the resistor. Nothing. So I go through every fuse in the car, everything that says HVAC, fan, anything that looks like nothing. So here's a little trick I'm going to show you, or a tip to save you some time, because this took me a little bit to find out and research. Right here in your fuse panel, if you look here at fuse number 4, BCM number 3. Now that's body control module. So I can't figure how this works, but anyways, BCM 3 number 4, which is right here, which is this empty spot, is one of these fuses right here. See that? See how dark that is? That's blown. Here's the brand new one I just picked up from the Chevy dealer. So we're gonna go ahead and put that bad boy in. So I'm just passing it on. If you've had the same problem with the water leaking, or maybe even if your blower motor went and you're not going to get, and you don't get any voltage after you do the work, or I rarely recommend that you check it beforehand. Check that fuse. It's not something you're going to think of. It's not labeled as anything for air conditioning or blower motor. There's no fuses that actually say blower motor. That's the ticket right there, is that little pink fuse that says BCM number 3. It's a 30 amp. It was like $3, $3.50 from the Chevy dealer. So with that, now we can actually move on to getting the blower motor put back in the car. Alright, so here we go. Here's our new blower motor, and as you can see, it doesn't quite look like this one. What we have here is 2 screws or nuts that need to come off so we can transfer it and move it over to here. But now, as you remember, we cut this thing out, so here's what they've come up with to put this back in. You can see here around the case you got 3 screw holes that this lines up with, and they give you 6 of these self-tapping screws to put it back into the car. Now what I'm going to do and recommend is I'm going to attach this bracket now, so that way when I'm moving and bouncing this thing around, I'm doing it on the old cage, because this piece here actually hits and it wobbles, so we don't want to do that to our nice brand new blower motor, do we? So what I recommend is we're just going to go ahead and beat up this old one and get this ring put in real quick. Easy. So we need a 7mm to take these out. It just takes a little bit of pressure to get that off. Look at all that rust. You see that? Look at how. Yeah, buddy. Alright, now I want to put this back. There's an indent right here for where your harness connector's got to go. So it's going to line that up. Now, you don't have to make that too tight. This is just plastic, and don't forget that all the weight's sitting on it, so you don't have to worry about it. And now that we got our plate already installed, we'll get these 3 screws in the car, and man, we'll be good to go. Have this thing working again. Or one thing, if you use a drill to drill in the plastic, use your clutch settings. Like I find number 5 works pretty good for going into plastic. It keeps you from over tightening. So my little tip of the day for you. Alright, let's remember our electrical connector was here about in the front. And we'll get these screws lined up. Alright, trying to get this camera at the best angle I can. I tell you what, the drill definitely gonna make this a big help. Is trying to get that first screw in is the worst. Yeah. Okay, so that back screw is the worst. It's just at such an angle I can't get the drill in there, so I kind of had to hand do it, and it's hard to see, but at least thankfully with the drill I was able to get the first screw in and the second one, so that was sufficient to hold it. So okay, don't forget to hook your wire back up. Now for the moment of truth, kick this thing on. Yay! Whew. Yeah. there you have it. The only thing left is to put up that this acoustic panel, pop that thing back up, and we are done. Hopefully that helps somebody, save you some money and some hassle from going to the dealership and getting that done. And if you run into the same problem, if your blower motor blew that fuse, hopefully that helped you out. Like, shares, comments, always appreciated. Please subscribe to the channel for more how-to and just basic car videos and stuff like that. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you on the next video.